Hello and welcome to our last day in London. Not our last day in England, but our last day in London. So tomorrow we go up to York. So we're very excited about that, but I'm very sad to be leaving London. I'm never ready to leave London. Mom is here, she's just putting on her makeup. I'm gonna give you a quick outfit of the day, and then we'll sit down and I will give you our plans for the day. Dressing a bit more for summer in terms of the print, but I'm wearing a dress that does, just for my own comfort, kind of require that I keep a cardigan on. So the first several days we were here, it was way too warm to be able to do that. I needed to be able to take the cardigan off. This is one of the new dresses I bought for this trip. It's this lemon print with lots of green leaves and pink and red flowers. Super cute. I got this from Target. I've paired it with this really cute kind of lightweight open weave cotton cardigan. This is old from Marks and Spencer. I think I got this in Oxford in 2014 or 15. I can't remember which summer, but it has been a while. So yeah, I got this a while back, but it just looks really cute with this cardigan. With this dress. The cardigan has pockets. The dress has pockets. Mom has had to help me safety pin the sleeves up because the straps up, because it's got a strap. It's a strap dress, a sleeveless dress with straps. I cannot get my words out today. So we've had to safety pin them kind of towards the back to get the dress up to the right length. The straps were just a bit long, which was making the dress sit a lot lower and just it looked weird. So I will sew them properly when I get home. Didn't have the patience for it today. But the dress is really cute. I really, really like it. I've managed, this is probably the best my hair has looked this entire trip. I think I finally kind of cracked the code on relatively smooth hair, but it took like an hour last night and another like 30 minutes this morning, so I don't know how sustainable it is for the entire trip. But I'm just wearing the Ted Baker Moon and Star earrings again, same Swarovski ring as yesterday, the same shoes I have been wearing for almost the entire trip, my Dr. Scholl's white leather tennis shoes. My blisters are finally feeling better. They're still there, but they're not quite as painful. So I can feel them when I walk, but they're not as bad. What is irritating me today is I still just have irritation in the back of my throat. It's all like upper, it's like the upper back part of my throat. So it hasn't gotten worse than yesterday, than last night, but it hasn't gotten better. And I just feel a bit gunky, like in my sinuses. So I do think it's allergies. I think if I was getting sick, I would have woken up feeling a million times worse. So yeah, that's kind of not fun. But we've planned a pretty relaxed day today. We thought we had a plan, and then I feel like we did put something. I need to check our notes app in my phone and make sure we're not forgetting something or missing something. But I don't think we had anything massive planned for today. Yeah, no.
We didn't have
No, just it's Transport Museum and Covent Garden. So we haven't.
Did we miss something on one of the other days? You circle back on?
We did. Well, not that would be easy to circle back on. No, we haven't missed anything.
Yeah.
The only thing that we had on the list that we haven't, well, two things that we had on the list that we didn't do. We didn't make it to Harrods and we didn't make it to Battersea Park. But I don't really feel like I have the energy.
Well, Battersea Park, we looked at from above.
We looked at from above, exactly. It also wasn't the weather for a park yesterday. We've had a fantastic time in London. There isn't a single day that I feel like we messed it up and should have done something different. We were never gonna have time to do everything.
We weren't gonna do all the touristy things that we've done in the past.
Yeah.
We've already been there, done that.
Yeah. So the one thing we haven't done yet that we usually do each time we visit is explore Covent Garden. It's one of our favorite areas. It's certainly one of our favorite areas to shop in. So we want to do the Transport Museum because I've never been, and I am a huge nerd when it comes to the tube and the underground and buses and London and all of that. So it has been on my like one day list. Like one day I'll visit there when I have some time or something in between everything else that I want to do more. So there's a ton of little museums like that it's like, well, it's not super pressing, but eventually one day I do want to go. So I think today is finally the day for the Transport Museum. I have been told it's a little bit better for children and it's not as exciting for adults. That being said, the person who told me that isn't really a train nerd. Like, I follow a whole YouTube channel. I follow a few YouTube channels devoted to like riding the tube and talking about the tube and the underground. So I think I'll find it interesting. I don't think it's a very big museum, so it probably won't take us that long. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do some shopping around Covent Garden. We have dinner reservations at one of our favorite restaurants in Covent Garden, the Crusting Pipe, for 5:30. It is currently 9:55.
We haven't done much of is afternoon tea. Didn't we only have the one at Kensington?
We only had the one in London, and I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I mean, unless you wanted to see, I just feel like we could see if Fortnum has an opening today. I don't think they will.
Yeah, because we're going to eat dinner.
I figured we'd probably also do afternoon tea somewhere in York, or at least a cream tea in York.
Yeah, and we haven't ever done a tea in Oxford.
And so we should do a tea in Oxford. So okay. Maybe when we get to York, either tonight when we're back.
We were planning to do one in York, but the place that we were going to do there is
full. We were going to do it at Betty's in York, but apparently it's full. For all the days that we're there's no openings. But I'm sure there are other places in York.
There are lots of others because I think there was one.
And also, I don't mind doing just a cream tea because I have yet to have a really good scone. I'm sorry, Kensington Palace. Your scones were not impressive. They just weren't.
Well, we might have better scones up
north. So.
Where is it they call them scone instead of scone?
Scone? I just can't pronounce them. Scone.
I know.
Scone versus scone. They're scones. Weigh in the comments on the scone versus scone debate. I feel like I'm putting on an accent if I say, we're going to have scones today with our tea. I sound ridiculous. It doesn't sound right coming out of my mouth. So yeah, we've only done afternoon tea once in London, but we're still going to York and Oxford. So I think we will have afternoon tea at least one more time. And we usually only do it like twice in a whole trip because it's not cheap.
And it's a lot of sweets.
And it's a lot of sweets.
I mean, they do sandwiches, but it's primarily the sweets.
Which is why I really don't mind doing just a cream tea and skipping afternoon tea. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Well, a cream tea is just the scones and the tea.
Oh, okay. But you can also skip the scone and get something else, right? Just have a tea with a cake. That's probably not cream tea.
I don't think that's considered a cream tea. I think that's just considered having a cake with tea. To my knowledge, and someone who's more knowledgeable can fill me in, can correct me in the comments. To my knowledge, a cream tea, if you go into a shop and order a cream tea, it's just the scone and the tea with the clotted cream and the jam. So we're just gonna have a really light and easy day. We've got several hours, 7.5 basically, before our dinner reservation. So what we're going to start with, the long rambly way of getting here, what we're going to start with is we're just gonna go sit in a coffee shop because we really have yet to do that. Mom spent most of yesterday in a coffee shop in Battersea Power Station because she didn't have the energy to walk around shopping with Tamsin and I, which fair enough. But we have yet to like just go and sit for like an hour or so in a coffee shop, do some reading, do some writing. And I just figured if we're not gonna be running here, there, and everywhere around London to do like the city one last time or Borough Market one last time or anything like that. If we're just going to be staying in the Covent Garden area.
Andrea just wants to go sit in a coffee shop and pretend she's a Londoner.
I want to go sit in a coffee shop and pretend I'm a full-time writer living in London.
There you go.
I just want to be Eleanor for 2 hours. That's all I want. I just want to pretend that my movie star husband is waiting for me back at our cute little Muse house. And I've just had a meeting with my publisher, and now on the way home, I'm stopping in a coffee shop to write my next novel for an hour or so. So yeah, that's definitely like what I want to do. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about and who Eleanor is, that is all a reference to my first 3 books, essentially, in the Across the Pond series. Book 4 is what I'm currently editing. Book 5 is what I'm probably going to be working on in the coffee shop today. But the first 3 books are all available on Amazon. This is my little shameless plug. Hashtag sponsored, hashtag my own product, if I have to do that.
Yeah.
And the links to buy on Amazon are in the description box below. There is a lot of London in those books, and they are heavily inspired by all of my previous trips. So yeah, check them out. I would really love that if you would. So we're about to head out. I need to just get the last of my things together, and then we can go have a nice little reading and writing date in some coffee shop that we will find between here and Covent Garden, which there will be a lot because there's like a million coffee shops between here and Covent Garden. We'll probably end up in a Cafe Nero because that is a personal favorite, even though it's a chain, and I haven't spent enough time in a Cafe Nero so far this trip. Okay, we have finished at Cafe Nero. We were there for about an hour and a half. So, Mom was reading. What were you reading?
This is my book.
Just her book on her Kindle. I did a lot of writing, both my iPad and in my journal. I was just happy. That was fantastic. I could honestly spend 2 weeks in London just writing in coffee shops. So, I am one very happy girl right now. It is a gorgeous day. The sun is coming out. There's a lot of blue sky now, but I'm enjoying the shade. And yeah, we're just walking into Covent Garden. We're just coming up Queen Street, or I think it's Great Queen Street. So beautiful trees, beautiful old buildings. This is the Freemasons building. I love the architecture in this part of London, although to be fair, all of London has amazing architecture. But each building just has so many little details on it. We're coming up to where our favorite jewelry store used to be, right up on the corner. It is sadly not there anymore, which is, yeah, and our favorite patisserie isn't around anymore. Patisserie Valerie So many good memories. We're just gonna have a wander into Covent Garden. We need to find somewhere for lunch. And then we're gonna do the Transport Museum. And then probably just shop until it's time to meet JJ for dinner. Woo! Sun! Lots of sun. So yeah, we're just gonna enjoy a lovely afternoon in Covent Garden. So I will show you what we see and what we find along the way. Also, fun fact. Oh, might have been a Freemason. Interesting.
They were secretive.
Yeah.
And my grandfather on my dad's side was a Mason.
Oh, was he? Oh, okay. So, 2 fun facts. This building doubles as the front of Thames House in the TV series MI5. Second fun fact, right over here around this corner is where Eleanor is wandering around on her first day of sightseeing when she just happens to bump into Patrick Reynolds. If you want to find out what happens after she runs into her celebrity crush, read my book, A Brave Start. But yeah, right there, that's the spot. That's the spot I was envisioning when I wrote that scene. Okay, we have finished lunch. We ate at the Palm Court Brasserie. It was so good. We ate there several years ago for dinner on New Year's Eve when we were here with Lisa. So that will be in the first London vlog series. And we just passed it and thought, let's just check out the menu again, check out how busy it is. And at noon, it wasn't that busy. It got busy by about 1, but it was very good. I had the fish and chips. They were amazing. Mom had a Caesar salad. What did you think, Mama?
It was very good.
It was very good. She loved it.
Chicken on it.
Yeah, with chicken. It looked amazing. So I think Palm Court Brasserie is now on our list of places to just, if we need a place to eat, that's a good place to go. We've now walked through the apple market in the central piazza of Covent Garden. We are outside of the London Transport Museum. So we're gonna pop in here and walk around. It is now 1:35, so we still have 4 hours before we're meeting JJ for dinner. So plenty of time to walk around the museum and then still do some shopping. So we haven't really done any shopping yet. So we definitely wanna do that. The day's going by fast, but also I feel like not. It feels like it's also going a little bit slow. Yeah, it's every time I stop and think that like it's our last day and our time is almost done, that makes me a little bit sad. Although I'm excited to go to York and I'm really excited to go to Oxford. So like the trip isn't almost done, just London. But yeah, I'm already like, when will I be back? It's really busy in Covent Garden today. So we are dodging the crowds a little bit. We'll see how busy the museum is. But I'm really excited. I've never been to the London Transport Museum. As I said earlier, I'm a huge nerd about London Transport, particularly the Underground. So I'm very excited about this. We'll see if it lives up to my expectations or not. I'm trying to have low expectations because my friend did tell me that it's really good for children, but we'll just have to see. So we're in the museum and they've got this stamper trail, which would be great for kids, but I'm basically a big kid, so I'm totally gonna fill this up. I've already got number 1. So there's these little stamper machines and they're numbered. So now we get to find number 2, which is gonna be upstairs. iPhone does not want to focus. So you come in on the ground level and then you go all the way up to the 2nd floor and work your way back down. So that's what we're gonna do. So we'll end back around here. So we're gonna head upstairs and start collecting some stamps. This should be fun. And it really was a lot of fun. The London Transport Museum is super cool. I think if you are into history, if you are into specifically the history of London, if you're interested in public transportation and the history of public transportation, like if you're a history fan, even if you're not that much of a fan of public transport, being a history fan would be enough. If you don't really care about history, but you're into public transport, I think you'd like it. It is great for families and kids. I'd say kids above the age of like, even just like 2, like as long as they're mobile and can walk around, I think they'd have a lot of fun. There are lots of things that you can kind of step into, but then there's also a lot of like interactive kids areas. So on the top level, they have like really early transportation. So the first omnibuses, which were coaches, and like horse-drawn carriages, horse-drawn buses, essentially horse-drawn trolley type situations. They also have some stuff on boats up here, and they had some of the things like your servants could carry you in. They've got little scale models and then big full-size things. So there's lots of like the really early kind of 19th century history of stuff. This was really interesting. It's this like accordion thing, and you look through. My camera has struggled, the lenses struggled to line up, but you look through it and you kind of get this deep 3D view in the London tunnels, which was really cool. So that was fun. And then this was this really long panoramic drawing. It's several pages that they've taped together. I think it would have folded out originally, but just showing all the transportation along the Thames, which was really, really cool. So it covers a lot of the early history, not just buses, but also boats and things like that, and what transport was like in the 19th century when kind of mass public transport first started to become a more common thing. Here we are doing another one of our stamps. Mom and I totally had fun with that. Mom lost hers after like the 2nd stamp, so I had to go back and get a new card, and then went and got her the stamps that she'd missed. So that was a model of how they started doing the Underground, where they would dig down, create the tube, create the tunnel, and then cover the dirt back over. It was amazing how they would have gotten started with the Underground. These were some old carriages that you could step into some and look into others. This was talking about how there were ladies only carriages. This was an old dollhouse, but then this area was kind of set up like the dollhouse, and had some of the same furniture, which was kind of funny. So here's another example of things that you can like pull out and like look at, and things that might be more interesting for kids to keep them a little bit more interactive. A small kid probably wouldn't be interested in these drawers, but older kids might. Then you can look down into the other levels. It's pretty big in here, a lot bigger than it would look from the outside. Here's some more carriages. Mom's on the tube circa 1970s, judging by how these mannequins are dressed. So there's lots of areas that you can walk around. And I loved the old artwork that they had. There were a lot of posters. These were really cool. These were the old like bus rolls. I can't remember exactly what they were called. I think I show it again in a moment. Here's a model train going by. But the roll things would have been in the buses, and they could roll it to a certain area to show what the bus was. So what area it was driving to or something. This model train was just so cool. It just went back and forth across the way. So yeah, here's more about the bus blinds. That's what they're called. And so they would have been on a roll, and then only one of those lines would have shown at a time, and it would have let you know which bus that was and where that bus was going to. Then we went into this poster exhibition. This was multiple levels, so you can see there's the spiral staircase there. And now here we are down on the bottom level, which has some of the big old buses and motor vehicles. They've got buses and trolleys from a few different eras, from older ones going up to slightly more newer ones. This was a really cool map of London, slightly 3D, leaning against the wall. Here's some more of the buses. And yeah, we just had a fantastic time. It was really, really cool. Highly recommend this museum. Whether you have kids or you're a big kid, you're a train nerd, a bus nerd, or just a history nerd in general, I think you'd really enjoy it. Okay, well that was fun. We got all of our stamps like we were children, but it was fun.
I saw other adults.
There were other adults, to be fair. It's not just us. But that was really cool. The museum was really, really interesting. It goes all the way back to the 1800s. Yeah, it's a lot bigger on the inside than I thought, but not huge. Great for children. Very busy with families. I'd say as long as your little ones are like mobile and walking around and wanting to kind of climb on things and touch things and play with things, this is a great museum for them. I now realize why my friend came here so often. I think they had like an annual pass or something, so they could bring their 3 kids here whenever. But there's lots of really interesting history, so I think it's also very interesting for adults. So I would highly recommend that museum if you want something a little bit more niche and something that focuses just a little bit more on a more unique side of the history of London.
I wanted to see if there's anything to sit in this cafe and chair.
Oh, okay. I think Mom's looking for a bit of a rest. But it is 3:14, so we've got just over 2 hours before we're going to meet up with JJ. So I wouldn't mind a short rest after walking around the museum, but I also know there's a few shops that I kind of wanted to visit, and it looks like it's Artists and Creators Day in the Apple Market. It didn't look like antiques and collectibles. I know they alternate different types of vendors in the Apple Market here at Covent Garden, so want to explore that for sure, because that we can only do here. But yeah, again, like, I'm not ready to leave. I'm not ready like for this day to be done, because then that's it for London for this go round. But we are having a really, really, really good day. It's definitely getting clearer. There's a lot more blue sky. The sun is coming out. It is getting warmer. I'm at risk of getting overheated. I need to put my hair up in a ponytail. There are pigeons flying everywhere. Pigeons up there. There is a nice breeze though, so that is helping, but I definitely think I need to put my hair up. But yeah, it's a beautiful day to be in Covent Garden. There are quite a few people here. The Transport Museum had some school groups. It looks like maybe middle schoolers here on a school holiday or something. But it wasn't that bad in there. So as many crowds as we've been seeing so far on this trip, I was prepared for bigger tour groups. So I see Mom still walking back towards me, so maybe she didn't find a seat. So I'm gonna go meet up with her, and we'll either go find a place to sit or we'll do some shopping, probably a little bit of both. Stopped for a coffee and tea and scones. We walked around trying to find this garden. Turns out it was closed, so that'll have to get added for the list for next time. We're walking by a bar, so it's very loud. We have about 15 minutes before our reservation, so we're gonna go slowly walk back towards Covent Garden, the center of, well, we're in Covent Garden. We're walking towards the center of Covent Garden. Got Mom right here still. But we're meeting JJ and her husband and baby, so we're gonna have dinner with them. Oh, rules. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize it was
Right in here.
I only know it from Downton Abbey.
Oh, really?
Yes. But it is. Show you all that. You can pause to read it. I'll be pausing to read it when I get home, I'm sure. But yeah. Yeah, let's check out their menu. So, yep. So there's their menu. Prices don't look bad.
No, it's
Got some more history here. And yeah.
custom cut.
Yeah, I
And then I thought,
totally
well,
wasn't even thinking that, like,
It's a little bit more expensive than custom cut.
I remember it in Downton Abbey. I think Lady Edith goes there in one of the later seasons and meets up with the guy that, like, she ends up having a romance with in the last season. I didn't realize that, like, it was still a thing that was still open. So otherwise that would have totally been on my list. Okay, so that's going on the list for next time. But for tonight, we're going to one of our favorite restaurants. We're going to the Crusting Pipe, which is in the center piazza of Covent Garden. Bob and I have eaten there a few times. It was introduced to me by my friend who used to live in London. And so then I think she took me there on my very first, this sweater keeps falling off my shoulder. It's impossible, I've given up at this point. So yeah, I'm very excited for the Crusting Pipe because it is a very delicious restaurant. I think my friend Alicia introduced me to it on my very first trip. And then I took Mom to it on our first trip together. And I think we've eaten there pretty much every time we've come to visit.
Yeah, because
We took Lisa here. I think even when I've come by myself, I think I still had someone I think Alicia and I came here on my 2017 visit. Or maybe I brought Tamsin, I don't know. But yeah, I think I've eaten here every time. So I'm very excited. I know exactly what I'm going to get. But yeah, it's been a gorgeous day. The sun has definitely come out and it has warmed up, but not too terribly. Oh, these flowers are so pretty. Look at these flowers, and there's a bumblebee. There he is. Oops, and he's gone. There he is. They're so pretty. Covent Garden used to have a huge flower market, so there's always lots of flowers around, except in Christmas, and there's a giant Christmas tree. So yeah, we're gonna wander. We're back in the center of Covent Garden again. Here we are. So we're gonna go over to where the Crusting Pipe is. I need to text JJ, see where she's at. I think she was already somewhere in this area, so we'll find her and then have a very yummy dinner and then walk back to our hotel for the last night. I'm trying not to think about that. I've already had a bit of a cry in the Cafe Nero that we stopped in. Just starting to think about how this is the last night. It just started to get to me. So, you want to do a selfie, Mama?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, selfie's done. So now it's time to go find JJ and get our table for dinner. Okay, we are home. Well, home for one more night. Then we go to our York temporary home. We had the best evening with JJ and Matthias. We had so much fun, and little Constantine.
And that was the perfect place because it was their own little alcove.
They weren't busy. Their patio was busy.
Yeah.
But inside
So
wasn't busy at all. No, they weren't rushing us. There was plenty of room for Constantine's stroller. So everyone was super nice. Everyone loved Constantine.
He is such a cutie.
Which JJ was saying that everywhere they've been going, people have been very goo-goo gaga over her baby. And rightly so. He is adorable. So cute. Yeah, we had a very yummy dinner. The restaurant was fantastic. The ambiance and like the whole vibe there is just so nice. It's kind of in an old wine cellar, and so there's lots of like little nooks and crannies and alcoves, and there's really not a bad table in the space. Like everywhere in the whole place is like in a cool, interesting area. I was kind of kicking myself for leaving my phone at the table when I went to the ladies' room because there was no one back in any of the other seating areas. It was completely empty inside. I'm like, oh, I should have taken my phone so I could take some pictures and vlog what the rest of this restaurant looks like.
Yeah,
Because it was just so cool. They also do afternoon tea, and I think they do Sunday roast there as well. Oh, I need to charge my watch. Mom, can you grab my charging bag?
I don't think I can sit for very much tonight since we've got to pack.
Yeah, we need to at least start packing tonight.
Did you want
Can you grab...
your charging what?
Yeah, my little charging bag. It's the pink mesh bag. I think it's in the cubby hole next to the closet. It should be right there on the top.
I see pretty big.
Is it in the... Did I put it in the drawer?
I don't know. There's another.
Never mind, I'll come get it. I'm gonna see it right away, I'm
It's got
sure.
It's got your.
Where did I put it?
Is it
I
in-
thought for sure I was gonna come in here and be like, it's right in front of you.
Oh.
It is in the drawer. Okay,
Oh,
found
okay.
it. I've been putting it in both places.
It's right in front of you. No, it's not.
No, it's not. Oh, I haven't washed my hands. Hold on.
Oh, I thought you washed them already.
No, I got distracted. Okay, hands have been washed.
Plug your. Yeah, you did.
I plugged in my watch. I need to plug in my phone. I'm gonna do that with my cable because I want my phone near me while I'm taking a shower and packing and stuff.
You need to finish vlogging so I can call Daddy.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to do because I also need to take a shower.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'll vlog him while you're in the shower then.
So yeah, dinner was amazing. Meant to vlog more, but was just having too good of a time with JJ. And also was just trying to enjoy our final walk through London back to our hotel because tomorrow we'll get up and finish packing and check out and get a taxi to King's Cross and then get our train to York. I keep having to remind myself, and Mom was reminding me of this as well as we were walking back to the hotel, that like we're not going home tomorrow. We're going to York tomorrow. And we're both very excited to go to York. I'm excited to see York because I know just from what I've read about it and seen about it, it has a very different vibe, very different history. So I'm very excited about that. And I'm also so excited to go to Oxford. I think I'll be really sad to leave York in a few days, but I'm so excited to go to Oxford that I think that will make leaving York feel a little easier. I don't have the same attachment to York or Bath as well as I do to London and Oxford. I think I'm going to be an absolute wreck when it's time to... I think my last day in Oxford is going to be really, really, really hard.
Yeah, she's already crying today.
Yeah, I was already crying today. I got a little bit teary sitting in Cafe
Nero.
Nero.
I looked over at her and tears
Lip quivering.
are pouring down her face.
They weren't pouring down my face. But my eyes were definitely welled up with tears.
Yes, they were.
So I love being here, and I've missed being here. And now that I am here, I realize even more so what I've been missing over the last 4 years. Like, it's just solidified the memories again. I feel like it had just started to feel a little bit vague in my brain because it had been so long. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to describe, it's hard to explain. Unless you have a city other than the one that you live in that you just love so much. Like, I know there are some people who they feel about Paris or New York City or San Francisco or, you know, Vancouver. You know, they feel about a certain city the same way that I feel about London, where it just has this almost magical quality, and they would move there in a heartbeat if they could and stuff like that. And they visit as often as they can. Some people have a city like that. Other people don't. And other people would have one, but they haven't found it yet. And I think until you find a city and you have that experience with another city, you can't quite understand how someone could love another city so much that the not being there is almost painful, and that the thinking about that city becomes borderline obsessive. Like, it's the whole reason I wrote the first Across the Pond book. A Brave Start would have never been written if I hadn't... Oops.
Sorry.
That was my alarm.
Oh, my.
But your alarm is still going off, and it's kind of starting to like
Uh-oh. I don't know why it...
It's really quiet.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, A Brave Start would have never been written if I hadn't gone to visit my friend Alicia in London in December of 2010 for New Year's. It just, I fell so in love with London because I was staying with her and staying in an apartment and not, or a flat and not a hotel. I was going grocery shopping and I was running errands, and we were doing dishes and like taking out the rubbish and, you know, doing household chores and stuff. And we were, you know, kind of going about a very normal daily routine, and I was getting a sense, a small sense, because it was still the holidays, it was still New Year's holiday, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, all of that stuff. And she was off work for half of the time I was here, and we were doing a lot of touristy things. But on the days that we weren't, on the days that she had to go into the office, she asked if I would not do some of the more touristy things because she'd wanted to do those with me and to take me around to places. And so on the days that she was working, I was just doing very normal things. I'd go do some shopping, I'd go run errands for the flat. Like, she was letting me stay with her for free, and she'd used her own airline miles for my plane ticket. So it's like, I can totally buy you groceries and stuff like that. So I would run a lot of those errands and then just spend time in coffee shops and things like that. So I got a small sense of what life living in London would be like. And again, I want to emphasize small sense, not like a typical day-to-day, because obviously if I lived here, I'd have a job, I'd have a 9-to-5, I'd have a commute. It wouldn't be quite as romanticized as I have it in my head. But it just put a seed in my brain, and I just could not stop thinking about it, and I could not stop replaying in my mind. And this was before I was vlogging. This is well before YouTube, 6 years before I would start my YouTube channel. So like, I wasn't vlogging, but when I got back, I just could not stop thinking about London. I could not stop replaying in my head all the things I'd done. I looked through my photos on a regular basis. I would be driving to work to go teach, kind of daydreaming about, oh, what if I was back in London, and what if I was back in Red Lion Square and walking to Cafe Nero, and I could just visualize it in my head so clearly. I just started to realize that it probably wasn't healthy how obsessively I was like thinking about it and daydreaming about it. And so I thought, well, let me channel that into something a little bit more productive. By that point, I'd already finished the first draft, the original first draft of Project Darkness, the draft that I'm now considering draft 0 of Project Darkness. So by this point, I knew I could write a book. I knew I could write a novel. So I thought, well, that was a fantasy novel. Let me try a romance novel. Let me try a romantic chick lit type novel. That's what I read a ton of at the time, which is why Project Darkness was such a fluke. At that time, I didn't read a lot of fantasy, so I don't know why a fantasy novel was the first thing I wrote. But I just thought, let me try romance. Let me try what I have been reading all the time. And I loved romance and like chick lit novels set in London. I'd read a ton of those prior to the trip. Like when I first came here, I devoured the Shopaholic series, what was already in that series at that point. There were like 2 or 3 books in that series. Loved it. Had read a lot of other books by like Jane Green and a few other British chick lit authors in the early 2000s and 2010s. And I knew about, you know, a bunch of different shops in different areas, and I just wanted to see them. And so the trip was just truly transformative, and coming back from it, I just couldn't get it out of my mind. And so yeah, I thought, well, let me take this obsessive daydreaming and turn it into something a little bit more productive and write a novel. And over the course of several years, that is, anytime I just couldn't stop thinking of London, usually during or after one of my London trips, I would go back and start working on that project again. So yeah, just a long ramble about why London just means so much to me. And just, if you don't have that experience with the city, I think it's very hard to understand, because I think for a lot of people, London is just a city and it's fun to visit. And maybe once you've visited it once, that's it. You don't need to visit again.
I still like to visit it, but I'm not like, I don't want to move here.
Yeah, Mom's happy to visit and then she wants to go home.
Yeah.
I want to come here and then just stay here. I never want to go home. So yeah, so we've had a fantastic 7 days. I think it's been 7 days here in London. Or maybe this is day 8. I think it's 7th full day, but 8th day total. I'm losing track. So it's been an amazing week, basically. It's been an incredible week. And I'm so excited to be here, and I'm sad to leave, but I'm grateful for the time that we've had. And I feel like I have done a fairly good job of like staying in the present moment, enjoying each day to the fullest. It's probably why we've overdone it some of the days, because we were just trying to maximize every moment. I'm really glad that today we got time to just go sit in a coffee shop and do some writing. That was just so nice. I wish we could have done more of that, but there's also nothing we've done on one of the previous days that I would have swapped out for more coffee shop writing time, if that makes sense. So I'm glad we got to do one coffee shop writing session. That was all I could do on this trip. If we can't do it again in York or in Oxford, I will be fine. Although I do want to try to do it in Oxford as well. But yeah, we've had an amazing day. I did get some things at the Transport Museum, and I did find 2 really cute things in the Apple Market, but those are gonna wait for the haul. But we did pop in to Laderack, which I hadn't heard of prior to this trip. Like, I don't remember Laderack being as popular in London 4 years ago, but there's 2 YouTubers I follow who are obsessed with it, and so I've been noticing it in their vlogs. So when I saw it, and then Mom was like, ooh, Swiss chocolate, should we go in there? I'm like, yeah, I've actually heard really good things about it. So I'll show you what we got at Laderack. Mom got a kind of sampler of some of their best sellers. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different slices of chocolate in here. So the thing with Laderack is you pay by the gram. I don't know how many pounds it is per gram, but I do know that these 2 slivers that I got, how much did these come up to?
What's that?
I think you said it was going to be, for this weight, was going to be about 13 pounds, but then I think one of them ended up being a little bit heavier, so it might have been like 14 or 15 pounds.
I just paid all at once.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So not cheap.
No.
Like there's 2 pieces in here. This top one is milk chocolate with caramelized hazelnuts. Oh my gosh. And then the one behind it, it's probably a little hard to see, is a milk chocolate with salted caramel. So I think these were around 14 or 15 pounds possibly. So not cheap, but really, really high quality. Totally delicious. If you have a Laderack store near you, if you live somewhere in Europe, because I'm assuming they're elsewhere in Europe, they do free samples. We got to try a few different kinds. He let me try both the ones that I ended up buying, but then I think we also tried a chocolate with blood orange or something that was really good. I don't normally like orange or fruit in my chocolate, but I liked that. So yeah, he was super friendly. Pop in, give it a try. And you can, when I said that I wanted some, he asked me like, you know, how much are you willing to spend? So like if you only want to spend 5 pounds, then it seems like they'll help you. They know roughly how much to like break off. So it's just huge. They have huge slabs of it that they then just break off roughly into the size that will be equal to the weight that you want. So yeah, highly recommend Laderack. I think they're going to become a regular stop for me when I visit again. And I know one day I'll go visit JJ in Austria. They'll probably have a Laderack in Vienna. So I will be keeping an eye out for Laderack whenever I travel internationally now. So yeah, we had a fantastic day. We really, really did. It was amazing. But it is now, oh, shizzle.
Yes, Andrea.
It's nearly 9:15.
We'll be going to bed at 11.
There's still daylight out. That's been throwing me off this entire time. But yeah, we need showers. I need to wash my hair and I need to get packing. At least we're just packing for a train and not an airplane, so it doesn't have to be packed perfectly, but it is going to take me some time to get things roughly organized. So yeah, I'm going to end this vlog here. I hope you've enjoyed this vlog. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. That would be amazing. Say hi in the comments. Leave me some chocolate bar emojis in honor of Laderack. And yeah, that's all I got emoji wise. Leave me some chocolate emojis. Or I guess a train or a bus emoji for the Transport Museum. That really was so cool. I'm so glad we finally did that. I don't think it's a museum I would need to go to every time I visit. It feels like once you've been, you've been. But I probably would go if, you know, in another like 5 years or so. It was very, very interesting. And I would go again with someone who's never been. I would go to like take them. So highly recommend the Transport Museum, especially if you have kids like age 4 to like 12 would probably really, older kids too would love it. But I think that like 4 to 12 range would probably really just have a blast in there. So yeah, come back tomorrow to the next vlog and we're going to York. We're taking you all with us. So the trip is not done yet. It's the last day in London, but not the last day. We're only just a little bit more than halfway through the whole trip. So there's still plenty of UK travel vlogs coming. So come back to tomorrow's vlog to see our travels up to York. And I will see you all in that vlog. Thank you very much for watching this one. Bye!